Hello everybody, so it has been a minute since I've done a gaming setup tour. So I figure since we are really close to hitting episode 200 of the Bargain Game Hunter, which is of course the landmark series that kind of started this channel, I figured now would be kind of a perfect time to take a look at where the collection is today, what I've got, any highlights people might see. So yeah, we're gonna dive right in right now. I'm in my living room to show off the first part, and then later on we'll move into my room to show the rest of it. Before we go any further, because this is filmed in mid-March of 2025, there is going to be some spoilers for future episodes of the Bargain Game Hunter that have not released yet. So if you don't want to be spoiled, hold off on watching this video until a little bit later. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to catch up, but I would hold off. But if you don't care about spoilers, check it out. It's pretty cool. So the first part is my X-Men 97 arcade 1-up. I got this last year, if you've watched that video. I also have with it two matching Pac-Man stools, both also from Arcade 1-Up. Those I got from Woot for a really, really good price, which is why I got them. So now if you want to sit here and play some Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or any of the games on here, you have a nice cushy stool. So it should be nice. And then, yeah, I'm sure you see I have a Christmas tree still up. It's not a Christmas tree, it is the Brosmas tree, which if you watch my main channel, that's what that is for. It's a celebration I do after Christmas with my bros. That's why the tree is still up. We're gonna be using it for Brosmas next month. All right, so we're gonna start off my shelves over here with our little display. So of course, I like to display stuff on top of shelving just because I figure, you know, it's a cool thing to kind of show off. And this is part of the collection in some respects, kind of the knickknacks and whatnot. So some of these are not gaming related, some of them are. Most of it is, actually, but some of it isn't, and I'm sure you'll notice. So of course I've got Star-Lord, that's just an action figure. We have Pirate Majima from Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza, Guardians art book. I have some random cases up here. These are all regular cases for games that also came with steelbooks. So I put the games in question in the steelbook cases, and I have the regular cases on display out here. And I'm not going to reuse these because, I don't know, I just don't want to. I could potentially reuse them all as different things because they're perfectly good cases, but I don't know, I just don't feel like it. Anyway, we have the Spider-Man plates for the PS5 as well as the DualSense controller box out here. We have little Spider-Man, the BFG from Doom, and the dude from Flashback 2 up there. That's from Yeast's Memoir. Over here, of course, we have the Legend of Zelda section. So we have, well, the Nintendo World Championships pins, the Tears of the Kingdom controller, Wolf Link amiibo in the box, brand new. We have the Tears of the Kingdom regular case, the collector's edition box, and then that's the pin set for Tears of the Kingdom. And then over to this side, we have my gold power-up band. That is from Super Nintendo World in Universal Studios Hollywood when I went in 2024. My plan is to use that when I go to Epic Universe as kind of a flex, since they don't have that one. The Cinnamon Twist box, that's from Taco Bell and Uber Eats did Cinnamon Twist cereal, which was surprisingly good, but the box is cool, so I kept the box. Kind of hidden behind everything is the Star Wars Racer Revenge limited run case, Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition. We have the gold card from Nintendo World Championships. And then last on the end, we have the little McNugget buddies from the adult Happy Meals. We got 3 of them. A random Pepsi can that I got in a 12-pack that just had no Pepsi in it. It was a completely sealed, brand new can, but there's nothing in it. I just thought that was amusing, so I put it on display. And then, of course, my Starfield Constellation Edition box. Oh, and some Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog spoons from Bahama Bucks. So that is, oh, there's Volt Boy over there in the corner from Fallout 3 Collector's Edition. That's probably the oldest thing out here. So that's that. And of course, on top, I've got my 3 Spider-Man original trilogy mini posters from the re-release that happened last year. I had to pay for the middle one. The Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 3 I got at the theater, but that one I actually had to pay for because it ran out before I could get it. Anyway, so now we have, this is the retro game shelves, and I'm actually already starting to run out of shelves. I've been going kind of hard on retro, especially at GameStop and at pawn shops and thrift shops lately. So my retro collections have ballooned quite a bit. So I'm probably already going to need some more shelving to help alleviate some of that space issue. I'll work on that. So first we have Xbox 360. Yes, I know some people will be complaining. I have a lot of games that either don't have cover art or they're generic GameStop cases. I know, it annoys me too, but sometimes that's just what you get. And when you buy a lot of games from GameStop, the chances of you getting a GameStop generic case is pretty high. Anyway, some noteworthy games in this 360 collection. Probably the big one is going to be Coldcept Saga. Now this is a printed case, and I got this from a GameStop. The disc is in great shape though. I bought that a long time ago. I had the actual complete copy. I think I traded it in, which that was very stupid of me. That game is expensive now, so that's pretty cool. I got some steelbooks, have some limited edition stuff in here. I'm trying to think of some other like noteworthy titles that are worth kind of showcasing. Jurassic Park the game is kind of uncommon from Telltale. That one's right there. I have the Mass Effect limited edition, which that's pretty uncommon. You don't see that very often. Yeah, so it's a pretty good amount of stuff. I think the best, probably my 2 favorite things on this shelf, or this bookcase. Of course, my brand new sealed copy of Lollipop Chainsaw on the Xbox 360. The plan is to get this graded. I just haven't done it yet. I also don't have any like protective cases for my sealed games, so I'm probably going to get some of those soon. I just haven't fully decided when. Another one, which I am going to get graded, and this one is stupid. I freely admit it is stupid, but I have to do it, is it this one? No, it's this one. I have a brand new sealed copy of Pocket Bike Racer, one of the Burger King games on the Xbox 360. I bought from a pawn shop, so I'm going to get that graded as well, just because I think it's funny. So anyway, we got more 360 over here, and then we transition into original Xbox. Oh, I do have X-Men Origins Wolverine right there. That's probably another one of the big hitter Xbox 360 games I have now. Xbox Original, I used to have a much bigger collection. I traded in a lot of it when I got the 360, not thinking, oh, you know, it might be a good idea to hold on to some of these. But I have my original copies of Black, Burnout 3, Takedown, Dead or Alive, Ultimate, Dead or Alive 3, Doom, Fable, Lost Chapters, Halo, although that was a pre-owned copy when I bought it. Yeah, we got some good stuff here. I do have Time Splitters 2, which is one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. Noteworthy titles, I do have Scarface over there. The empty case rep by 13 is The Warriors. That one's kind of an uncommon one. Again, Black, Phantom Dust, which is surprisingly an expensive game now. I'm not sure why it's expensive, but it is. That one's pretty uncommon. It's funny because that game launched for $20 when it came out. Now it's worth a lot more than that. And then I do have a sealed Ghost Recon Island Thunder on the original Xbox, so that's my one sealed game in this collection. Then we get to the Wii. Got some pretty big games here. Fortune Street, Mario Party 8, Kirby's Epic Yarn, Mario Power Tennis, Super Sluggers, although that's not complete. There's that one over there. Probably the biggest hitter is Metroid Prime Trilogy on the Wii. So I think that's over here. Yeah. It's not a original case, it's a repro case. Because the GameStop copy I got did not come with the original case, but you know, that happens. So yeah, my Wii collection's grown quite a bit. I have quite a bit of shovelware, but I also have some pretty quality titles. Pretty happy with that. I know it's a little harder to see, but there's my GameCube and DS or 3DS collection on this top row. I have all the Mario parties, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all boxed. No manuals for any of them, but they're all boxed. Eternal Darkness is in there. That one is in a repro case, but it's a good quality repro case. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which is an expensive game now. What else? Beautiful Joe. Oh, Pokemon Coliseum is also over there as well. So my GameCube collection has grown a bit. GameCube is a tough console to collect for because it's expensive and it's kind of hard to find, but I think I've got a decent GameCube collection. PS3 has grown quite a bit, as you can see. Now it's up to, I have to stack stuff in the gaps now on PS3 because this shelf is very rapidly running out of space. Actually, not rapidly, it's pretty much out of space. I have some games that aren't shown here because of a situation, which I won't get into right now. But a few highlights. Folklore is in there. I have a sealed copy. I have a few sealed games on here. Atelier, Aisha, Arcana, Castlevania. I do have a sealed copy of Asura's Wrath. I don't have it with me right now, but I do have one. And then a few unsealed games that are pretty good. Folklore, like I mentioned. A Dragon Ball Tenkaichi collection. Oh, Drakengard 3 is sealed as well. Toy Story 3, the Sly games, the Ratchet collection, Killzone collection. So we got some good games there. I'm pretty happy with my PS3 collection. PS2, which was my original console. I still have a number of my original games on it, including 24 the Game, Agent Under Fire, all the James Bond games I bought when they came out. Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 1 and 2. 2 used to be an expensive game. It's not anymore, sadly, but it's a really good game. Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Seven Sorrows, the Jack Trilogy, NBA Street Volume 2, Psychonauts. In this corner, I have Persona 3 Fez. That's a pretty high dollar game. I think my most expensive game is the Mortal Kombat Deception bonus disc on PS2. Oh, and I have Nightmare Before Christmas around there. I think it's in a generic case over there somewhere. And then over there in that bottom corner is PSP, PS1, Vita, and my one Dreamcast game. So I've got, Edge of Darkness, Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Star Ocean, Legend of Dragoon in 4 separate cases because I did complete. PS1 collection is not super complete, unfortunately, but, I got some good games on it. And then Vita, I have Persona 4 Golden and visual novel. PSP, I have MX vs. ATV Untamed, which was kind of sealed when I got it. It's not sealed anymore because the seal was horrible. And then I'm still waiting on the game. I have it coming, but I have the third birthday. I have a copy of that complete once the game comes in. And my roller coaster game on the Dreamcast. So that is this collection out here. So that's pretty much everything I've got. Oh yeah, and over here, because I ran out of room, that's my cartridge collection on the little windowsill. Got some NES games. I have Aladdin on the Super Nintendo, 2 N64 games. I believe it's Mickey's Speedway, and I forgot what the other one is. And then Sega Genesis games over there. So that's that. I have consoles out here as well, mostly older consoles. I'm not going to bother showing those because you know what they look like, but I have an NES, Genesis, Xbox 360, PS3, a Wii that plays GameCube games, and my second Switch out here in the living room. Our setup is not great. We need to get a better setup for that, so I'm not going to bother showing it, but yeah. So anyway, that's what we have out here in terms of games, and then now let's transition to my room where I'll show the rest of my collection. All right, so here is my PS4, PS5, and Switch collection, and as you see, case in point with those games stacked on top there, I'm pretty much out of room here. I'm actually planning on getting a new shelf, hopefully this weekend, so I can actually put games where they need to go. I will show you in a bit. I actually have a couple piles of games that I just don't have a place for, so they're just on this table. But yeah, this is my Switch collection. I got my Charizard from the Ultra Premium collection up there. That's the last Pokemon product I bought. I don't know when I'm going to buy another one because they are impossible to find right now. So that's fun. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of my Switch collection. I have a good amount of good stuff. I got some rare games. I have some limited run stuff. Some really good stuff. Of course, here's my Bill and Ted collection that took over a year to come through. I got some imports in here as well. There's a couple random GameStop cases, which don't love. I also have a couple blank cases for games I have loose copies of. I don't have a ton of loose only Switch games, but I have a few. One of which I definitely want to get a case for is Echoes of Wisdom. So I have that. But yeah, pretty happy with my Switch collection. It's a really good amount, and I have more than that. Just this is what I can fit on the shelf. Down here we have PS4, only because I ran out of room for PS4 and PS5, so I had to put some on the shelf down there. And then up here is more PS4. I have a pretty decent PS4 collection, to be honest. Pretty happy with it. I've got some good titles there as well. See Gravity Rush Remastered, that's a good one. I have some other kind of uncommon or obscure PS4 games. There's the Trails of Cold Steel 1, 2, and 3. Those are kind of uncommon. Last of Us Part 2 Collector's Edition. Yeah, so I've definitely got some pretty uncommon or hard to find PS4 games. There's a couple I have that I don't have displayed right now. I have Berserk sealed on PS4. I also have Attack on Titan 2 Final Mix on PS4 as well. Those are just kind of rare PS4 games that I have sealed. Those are in here somewhere. But yeah, I got some good stuff here. As you can see, I've started to have to stack games on top of the shelf because I just don't have any more room. But that's what happens when you have a large game collection, so it is what it is. And then right below it is PlayStation 5. Really starting to build a pretty good PS5 collection. Got a lot of uncommon and rare titles. There's Animal Well, that's a limited run game. Boxville is a super niche game that's pretty uncommon on PS5. Sealed Enclave, of course, remake Intergrade, although that's not super rare anymore. You can find it at GameStop, so it's not incredibly uncommon anymore, but it's still kind of uncommon. High on Life, got some limited, some special editions here. Yeah, so pretty decent collection of PS5 games, I'd say myself. Now let me show you the overflow, and then we'll go on to Xbox. So here is a collection of games that from the most recent video that I filmed on the channel, kind of a spoiler. And then here's more. Some of these I just haven't put away yet. There's more Switch and PS4. It goes all the way down, pretty far down actually. Yeah, so the Switch, PS4, PS5 stuff, I just can't put away because I have no room for them. And then Xbox, I do have room, I just have to actually do it. So that's part of the complication, is I have to actually put it away. But PS4, PS5, and Switch, I don't have room for until I get my new shelf. So hopefully that will get resolved soon. Also got a couple rare controllers here. There's my sky blue clear Xbox controller. Here's the Spider-Man PS5 controller. I have that out because Corey and I are playing Split Fiction So I needed to pull out one of my limited edition controllers to play with him. So that's that one. I'm using the 30th anniversary. I'm not going to go through my controller collection because you've already seen it and I've done a video on it. But yeah, that's that. I guess a quick little thing. I do have a Vita and a DSi. It's the Mario 20th DSi, and then I have a white Vita. I don't really have a place to put these right now. I'm trying to figure that out, but they're just kind of chilling on this box for now. But yeah, I'm working on finding a better place for my Vita and my DSi. All right, and then here is my gaming setup in my room. I've got some consoles plugged in, so there's my PS5 with the Spider-Man 2 plates. There's my 30th anniversary controller, Wii U, and then down here we have the Switch. It is the Scarlet and Violet OLED, some games, and then my Xbox Series X. And there's my TV, watching some YouTube videos on there right now. So that's kind of the actual gaming setup, and now I can kind of show you my Xbox and Wii U collection. All right, so up here, there's some just kind of knickknacks. I've got some Amiibo. I have a little Astrobot plush. There's some little Pokemon figures. I've got my original Big Daddy statue from the BioShock Collector's Edition. There's a bad guy from the Resistance 2 one. Ghost from the Ghost Edition of Destiny is right here. I need to charge him again, but also, fun fact, that is the only surviving way, besides from YouTube videos, to hear Peter Dinklage as Ghost, because he was the original Ghost for Destiny in 2014. So that's pretty cool. And then down here, oh, and I have a Zelda Game & Watch up there as well. And then here is shelf one of my Xbox collection. You know I'm pretty hardcore into Xbox when I have literally 2 shelves pretty much entirely dedicated to Xbox. So this is Xbox One and Series. Because they're both, they have the same look. They're not technically separate consoles because you can play everything on both. I'm just putting them all together. I know like PS4, PS5, I think makes sense to be separate because they have distinctive looks and like, I don't know, it feels much more, it feels better to put all the Xbox games together as opposed to putting them separately like I did with PlayStation. So this is Xbox One and Series X. Got some rare titles in here just in this first shelf alone. This one's a big one. We have Baldur's Gate 3. This is from the special edition. I never have to open that because I know I've told this story already, but Larian actually sent a digital copy of the full game that was supposed to be DLC for the game. So now I have a digital copy of it. And unlike Microsoft and some other companies where they'll just revoke the license, they're like, well, you downloaded it, it's yours. So I'm just going to keep my copy of Baldur's Gate 3 sealed. I'm probably going to grade it, to be honest, because I never have to open it. So, and that's a pretty rare Xbox One game. Got some other ones. And again, some of these are going to be spoilers to future episodes because I know I'm really far behind on Game Hunter episodes. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to look away from some of these. I probably should have mentioned that ahead of time, but yeah. So for instance, one of the games that I have that's pretty rare is Amazing Spider-Man 2. I got that in a fairly recent episode. That is a incredibly rare Xbox One game. I'm trying to see some other rare Xbox One games. Oh, Deadpool, of course. Deadpool's pretty uncommon. Although it's definitely going down in price, but it's not super accessible anymore. Got some cool special editions. Far Cry Primal. These are very stuck in here, so I can't pull them out super easily. Final Fantasy 15, I have the Steelbook. Forza 5. I do have the complete Xbox One Day 1 a launch edition lineup. So I've got, if you don't remember, they had, I believe it was 4 games where they had special covers and a Day 1 emblem on it. It was Forza 5, Dead Rising 3, Rise. I think there's one other one. But I have all of them. in their original form. And I have the special edition of Forza 5. Let's see, what else do I have here? Guardians Collector's Edition, Halo 5 Collector's Edition, Madden's. Yeah, nothing too crazy on this bottom shelf, but yeah, I definitely have some pretty big hitter Xbox games here. Some good sealed stuff too. Bomber Cyberpunk on Xbox, which is actually a pretty uncommon version of that game. Alan Wake 2 is right there, that's sealed. A lot of the sealed games I'm not keeping sealed for like any particular reason. They're just sealed because they are. I have no reason to open them, so why open them? Like Alone in the Dark is sealed. Black Ops 6 I don't really intend to open anytime soon because I can just play it on Game Pass. Cloudpunk is sealed. Both I have both Cobra Kai games, they're both sealed. So yeah, got some fun stuff there. But let me show you the other half, and then we'll end with the box collection. And then last but certainly not least, here's the last section of my Xbox collection. Some pretty good games over here. I do have, as you can see here, Persona 3 Portable, Reload, Golden, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 5 Tactica, all sealed. I do need to find Persona 5 on Xbox, which is kind of tricky to find right now. But once I have that, I'll have every Persona game that's available physical on Xbox, which is a goal. So got all those. Psychonauts 2 is a pretty valuable one, or at least it was. I'm not sure if it is anymore. I have Return to Monkey Island. That's a valuable one. Stalker 2, my Starfield Collector's Edition. Steelbook is over here, and though it has no disc. So yeah. Tetris Effect Connected is another one that's kind of on the rare side. So those are that's my last shelf. I'm working on getting another shelf actually, because as you saw, my PS5, Switch, and PS4 section is overloaded. So I actually did just buy another shelf to help alleviate that, although my Xbox section is getting pretty low. I mean, we're about basically have a shelf and a half left, and then I'll have 2 full shelves of Xbox, so we'll see. That or I'll have to downsize, one of the two. And then the last part of my collection is the box collection. These are all boxes. Some of them do have games in it. That racer game, actually no, I think the wheel's still in there. But I've been keeping a lot of my boxes. I've been trying to keep a lot of the collector's edition stuff in these boxes. I know there's an Among Us that has the game in it, and there's a couple other games that I have in here as well. There's a Mario amiibo that's sealed. Some console boxes, some old collection boxes, quite a few good stuff. I've learned over the years, if you're a game collector, you kind of want to keep your boxes, because those can be worth a lot of money in the future. So, and then there's my Pokemon timeline for X and Y. So, pretty cool stuff. And yeah, that's the end. So I actually filmed this a few days later. I got the new shelf. It came in. So now I've rearranged everything. So this is PS4 all the way to the bottom. And at the top of this shelf, because I have too many PS4 games apparently. Then I have PS5, left a little room at the bottom there. And then this is Switch and Wii U. And then I left a little nook here for my handheld. So I've got my Zelda Switch Lite, my Vita in the PSP case, and then my DSi in the DS case. So yeah, just a little update, and then I added a couple boxes up here as a little decoration. So yeah. So that is going to do it for episode 200 of the Bargain Game Hunter, the updated room tour, the updated collection tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the last 200 episodes of this series. I worked really hard on them. It's been quite a journey, but I've still got plenty of collecting left in me, and my hope is to continue to grow my collection as best I can as long as I have space, which is becoming an issue, but I will find ways to get more space, so we'll figure that out. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, that way you know when new videos drop. And here's to episode 300. See you next time. Bye.